Todd Gurley is returning home. The former Georgia running back is back in Georgia with the Atlanta Falcons. He's going to start at running back for Atlanta in 2020. Todd Gurley, he's going to make money from two different teams this year, so really where he went or the money he was going to get from a team on the open market was going to be a little bit less from that team because the team knows that he's going to get money, and Gurley might as well go after the fit. And I feel like the fit is pretty good in Atlanta. I do think this is an upgrade over Devonta Freeman, but the thing with Gurley is always injuries, and will his body hold up? That is the biggest question with him. But looking at the contracts or the money, the way it's going to be sorted and what Gurley's actually going to get, according to the people in the know, the Rams will pay him $7.5 million, Atlanta will pay him $6 million, and there will be an offset minus of $2.5 million. So then the total earnings for Gurley will be $11 million. It keeps Gurley as one of the three highest paid running backs in the NFL, at least for this season. So Gurley will be happy about that. He gets to maintain his reputation, and he gets to go home in the process. I also feel like maybe with Todd, maybe with Gurley, that there might be a little bit of some sour feelings surrounding the LA Rams and their organization and the way that they have kind of gone about his whole injury situation. I could be completely off on that, and maybe the divorce wasn't as sour as it came across. But I do feel like Gurley, he did say it was just about business on Twitter, so that's the way he's going to take it. Classy move. But I do think there's that a little bit of the chip on the shoulder for him going into 2020, considering that the way they got rid of him, and just releasing a running back after 2 years ago. I mean, he was maybe the best in the game, and that's not easy to handle for any pro athlete, to be so good at your position, get paid and rewarded with this giant contract, and then all of a sudden you're released. You're on the open market, and you're not wanted by your team, by the team that drafted you, by the team that paid you, by the team that you lifted to go to the Super Bowl. It's kind of, I feel like for Gurley might be an embarrassing feeling, but also a feeling of, okay, I need to prove the people wrong, and I need to go out there this season and put on a show. So for Atlanta, they're getting a guy with a massive chip on his shoulder and a player that is wanting to prove to everybody that he still got it. So looking at his statistics, last season, it actually wasn't as bad as some people may make you think. I mean, looking at his stats, 223 rushes, which was the lowest of his career, 857 yards, not bad, near 900 yards, 12 touchdowns on the ground, 14 in total. He did have 31 catches for 207 yards, 6.7 yards per reception, which was also the lowest of his career. And his yards per attempt was 3.8, which is under 4, which isn't considered to be anything great, as the dogs go off in the background. But 55.3 yards per game in 2016, 57.1 in 2019. So technically, statistically, this actually wasn't the worst season from Todd Gurley. In his second season, at 22 years old, with less of an injury history or injury issue, he actually had a worse statistical season, and he only put up half the touchdowns. So, I mean, you're looking at it from this perspective. Is it Todd Gurley? Is he just not as good as we thought he was? Is it actually the injuries? Was it the offensive line? I feel like there's so many things that kind of join together in this situation, and it's like, I don't know. What is Atlanta really getting? Are they getting an elite running back if healthy? Are they getting an elite running back if healthy? Or is he not even an elite running back if he is actually healthy? Now, the way I look at it is Todd Gurley is a good running back. I think I would still put him around the top 12 in the league. At the very least, I mean, there's a lot of good running backs in this league right now, so it's kind of hard to say. And it also really is dictated by offensive line play. It's dictated by offensive coordinators. It's dictated by a lot of things. I feel like the running back position, more than any other position in the NFL, you succeed based on your situation. And I feel like that's why the running back position is so kind of, you could just get rid of any running back and you can fill him in. Like, look at Damian Williams and what he has done for Kansas City. He was the Super Bowl hero, arguably, for the Chiefs, especially their offense. And he was like off the street, and Andy Reid took him in, and now he's like considered a really good all-around running back who can catch the football. He can run it. He's got explosive speed. He's tough to handle in the passing game. So a lot of it is scheme, and I want to see how Gurley fits within Atlanta's scheme this season. I just think if they use him as a receiver the way that they used Freeman and Coleman in the past, I think he'll be fine, because I do think he's still an effective receiver and he's effective in space with the ball in his hands. But I just don't know if he's quite the guy that he was on the ground running the football, making guys miss, breaking tackles. I don't think he has the same power. I don't think he has the same elite speed he used to, but I still think he's a good player, and I do think he's an upgrade over Devonta Freeman, who, when you look and compare both, I mean, yes, Gurley's had injury issues, and you might need to kind of have him manage his carries and manage his touches, load management if you're given an NBA term. But Devonta Freeman has also kind of had his injury issues and his injury past and has missed entire seasons for Atlanta. So you could look at it from both perspectives and say, hey, I still think Gurley is the upgrade. I still think they're getting a better running back here, and I still think it's probably worth the money. Considering it's only like 1 year, it's a good deal, because if he is truly done, Atlanta can just move on from him. But if he cashes in and he has a great season, that's going to be hugely beneficial for Todd Gurley, and he's betting on himself with this deal. So Todd Gurley to the Atlanta Falcons. Does this shift the power in the NFC South? No. It's a running back. You know how I feel about running backs. It's not going to shift an overall team in terms of wins and losses. It might shift a little bit in terms of their explosive ability on offense, but Atlanta was already explosive before, and they still have some holes on the offensive line, and they still have some holes on defense, but they look like they're going to be maybe a more promising team coming into 2020, and Todd Gurley will be a part of that. I'm happy that he's back home. I'm sure you are as well. Let me know what you think of the Todd Gurley move back in Atlanta with the Falcons.